Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Greek Life Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, thank you for watching. My name is Savannah Morris, and I'm a member of Sigma Delta Lambda Sorority Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Joanne. I'm from Sigma Lambda Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
And hello, I am Abrid and I am from Delta Alpha Sigma Multicultural Sorority Incorporated.
Okay. Hi, guys. I feel like I saw y'all. Obviously, I know that I saw y'all a couple of days ago, but I feel like I haven't gotten to talk to y'all in a while. So, what have y'all been
Yes.
up to?
Okay,
This is this is y'all's third week of school, right?
yeah, I guess I'll go. Um,
Yeah.
what have I been up to? So we're actually finishing up our recruitment season, our rush weeks. So I've been doing that, and then also um, I've been up to just catching up on homework because I know once the recruitment season starts or rush weeks, sometimes
Mhm.
all this stuff piles up on you, and you're like, "Oops, I forgot to do this. Oh, okay, gotta make sure I do this." So I'm
Yep.
making sure I gotta schedule myself out for everything.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a little bit of me. How about you guys?
And then I feel like it comes up quick and then you're like, "Oh shoot, I have all 7 of these assignments that I need to do and I also
Mm-hmm.
have to go to this event and this event and this event." And it gets chaotic, but it's definitely fun. I don't know, I feel like I thrive in the chaos because then once these first 3 weeks of school are up, then it's boring and nobody's doing anything.
Yeah. No, what's the cut? I was telling a bro earlier. I was like, so we started our recruitment yesterday. So I had
Mhm.
work at 8:30 to 2 p.m. Then I had a meeting at 4 to 5. I had to run back to my room, and then I had our recruitment at 6:30 to 8:30. And
Mhm.
legit right after that, I knocked out of my bed. I was gone. I didn't eat or anything. I think I just ate a pizza and a soda that day. That's it. I was
Mhm.
busy back and forth from work that they made us do t-shirts that we had to do, doing a little route thing. Then after that,
Mhm.
meetings. And I was like, the meeting was supposed to be 4 to 6, but I couldn't stay that long because I had to get ready. I was like, oh
Mhm.
crud. I was like, ah,
She was
For
busy all day.
pretty much.
That's literally how it feels. It's like at the beginning of the semester, you have to plan your day by the hour. If you don't, you're
Yes.
gonna forget something, forget to eat. Cause I did that yesterday. Cause we had I had what did I do in the morning? I don't think I did anything in the morning, but I had class and then we had a study night and then we had chapter and then we had showcase practice. And I was like,
Yeah.
when am I gonna eat? So I got food before chapter, but I ate it after chapter. I ate it cold, right before practice. But we gotta do what we gotta do. Just plan it
Yeah.
out by the hour. And then today it's the same thing where it's I had class this morning. I didn't go. Sorry.
It's
I had
okay.
class this morning and then we're doing this and then I have work and then it's come home, eat dinner real quick. Then we're going to UNT for their takeover and then we have practice again tonight. So it's just a lot, but it's worth it. It's fun, like I said.
Are you excited to go over there?
Yeah, I enjoy going to UNT. It's kind of sad though that we can't go and support their showcase, but
Mhm.
everybody does everything for a reason and just because we can't go to theirs doesn't mean that they can't come to ours.
That's true.
So
Mhm. And when
that's
is your
the
showcase
good
again?
side. Our showcase, the TWU showcase, is going to be on September 12th at 7. It's going to be outside at the amphitheater. So bring bug spray, sunscreen. The sun will be going down, but still,
It's
sunscreen,
always hot.
water. It's still going to be hot. Yeah, water. Stay hydrated and watch us perform. Joanne, are you going to be in the performance?
It's kind of iffy, but I don't think so, to be honest, because I have so many things. I tell my mom
Mhm,
because she wants to come over here because she's all the way from Houston. She's
mhm.
like, your cousin's over here. She wants to see you. She's like 6 or 7. And
Mm.
she's like, she wants to see you. She wants to see Joanne. She's excited. And I'm like, oh, I'm booked for 2 weeks. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, so I have work, then I had to do assignments, and then I have recruitment. And I was like, there's no
Mhm.
time for me to show you around. And she's like, And I was like, yeah. And so I don't think I have time for like going to the practices and stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't like to look messy. Like my what's it called? Like my boss always says, you don't want to everything to look janky.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I'm not gonna take myself out of the situation. I'm like, yeah, I'll just go for just the stroll practices. That's it, just for a little support. I'm gonna be in the background cheering them on. But yeah, it's kind of like a
Yeah.
50-50 on that situation.
Mhm. I mean, that's good that you have that thought process because there are
Mhm.
some showcases that I've seen, like, just, like, videos from, like, other places, and
Hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, maybe that person shouldn't have gone out there because, like you said,
Yeah.
they look janky or they don't look like they went to practice as much as, like, the other people went to practice."
Hmm.
So,
Mhm.
good thinking
No,
on
yeah,
that
I don't
part.
want them to look bad. I was like, I know they've been practicing so hard and just me in the
Mhm.
background messing up.
You're like,
No,
"Nope."
I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Personally, for me.
And then Abril, your showcase was this past Tuesday. How do you feel now that it's over? It was so good. Go to DJ
Yes.
Top's YouTube and watch it.
Yeah, like you'll see all the performances on there. No, yeah, I'm glad. I said I'm happy. That it is over. I was always I feel like leading up to it. So right now I'm in charge of like doing all the showcases. So I was in
Mhm.
charge of this semesters, and so like right, like all the like, weeks before, I was just doing okay. Like every day I'd have practice with someone or another day with someone else, and so like it's nice to kind of get like a breather now. Like oh, okay, like
Mhm.
showcase is done now. I can breathe a little bit more. So it was nice,
Mhm.
but I liked it. I think my sisters and I did really good, so I was excited. And I got really good feedback from people, so I was like, okay, yay! Like it's always good, afterwards. And if like you put out your like all of you that you could do, then I always say like I always tell people I'm like, hey, if you mess up or whatever or something happens, maybe not the way you wanted to, but if you went on stage and you gave it your all, then that's all that matters, because you can't predict, maybe something gets to you or like oh, this
Mhm.
one step or whatever. But hey, if you put your all into it, then that's all that matters. And like if you had fun with it, you're out there, no one else practiced like you did, so you go out there, boom, boom. So I was
Mhm.
excited. I thought I
Mhm.
liked it. I like to see too all the orgs. So I was like, ooh,
I
yeah.
Yes.
loved it.
What do you
I
guys
know.
think? Have you guys been to any of before to like UTA or to any like at the showcases over here?
Yes. Actually, the first showcase that I went to was a showcase for UTA whenever I was still in high school. And also another weird thing, like whenever I was in high school, because like my college and career center person, she is a Zeta. So she would always like have like other like Greeks come.
Mm-hmm.
And like a couple of weeks ago, I got a memory and it was of y'all strolling. Like obviously like not you because you weren't in yet, but like it was of DAS strolling, and I was like, "That is so weird, like, how, like, small the world is," and, like, you never like, you don't know who you're recording, you're just in high school, you're just
Yep.
recording things, and then when you look back at it, you're like, "Oh,
Oh.
wow," or, like, there, so my uncle was a teacher at the high school I went to, and he's a Q, or he's a part of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Mhm.
And so him and another teacher, they would always like go and they would always do their roll call. And I would always record it, like not knowing anything about it. And so like now looking back at it, I'm like, wow, these are such like cool memories to have because like, now I'm a part of Greek life and getting to do those things. So it's just fun.
It's tight. I didn't know that. Hey, there you go. Welcome back to UTA.
I love that. No, actually, seeing y'all was the first time I seen a Greek showcase, if I'm right.
Ah.
Mm.
Yeah, because I didn't even know they had Greek showcase until like I know some sisters like, yeah, we always do it at TW, and I was like,
You're like, I
Portals?
didn't know.
yeah, I was like, I never saw anything like that. And I was like, I was a Greek showcase, and they're like, oh, this is what people do, and this, and I was like, oh, so seeing y'all is my first time seeing like a Greek showcase in general and how it's presented.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
I will say, I know that not all universities do showcases, and I
Mm-hmm.
know also too some people have the like different setups. Like I know, like for instance, like whenever I went to first time, like I went to UNT to their showcase, like they do
Mm-hmm.
like before they do like their presentation, they have like videos, like a little like video clip, and I was like, oh, that's tight. Like
Oh.
I didn't know that they did
Mhm.
that. So they have like their little video clip, and then they do their performance, and then afterwards they usually have like also like a little like stroll off thingy, but then they have
Mhm.
like informations like where people who are interested can go and they like get to talk with them. I was like, hey, that's tight. Like we don't have we
That's
just
nice.
have because like over here we just have our performance and then a little stroll off and then boom, we're done. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go see you guys. I don't know how you guys
Yeah.
do your showcase.
I think ours is about the same as like y'all's, where it's like at the beginning, or no, you perform and then at the end you talk about your chapter and like y'all's recruitment, whatever shout outs. And then afterwards you go and you talk to whoever and have a little stroll off. And yeah, so I think ours are the same. UTD though, because that was my first time going to UTD last week. Before their
Mhm.
showcase, they had like a little mini tabling like thing with all of the orgs there, and then they did showcase and like presented
Oh.
with the little video performance, and then afterwards they did strolling. I was like, y'all did like a whole like Greek week in one day.
Okay,
So it
boom.
was pretty cool though. Going to UTD, they have a ton of like orgs over there. I think there were 15 and 10 of them were MGC. So I was
Oh,
like, so
wow.
that it was a long showcase. We didn't leave until 10:30, and I think it started at like 8 or 7, 7:30 or 8. But yeah, it was super long. But all of their performances were really, really good. And I'm sad that my phone died and I couldn't record, but they were really good. Like you could tell they practiced for a while.
Mhm.
Mhm. I would say I did. I know whenever it was the UTD showcase, I think it was DD. He went to OU, right? I was
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
I love seeing those. I was like, okay, pop off, people. Like, hey, so props
I
to
Oh,
anyone
know
they
for
look
watching.
so clean. I was like, I
they
was
did.
like, love it.
I
Love it
don't
with all
know.
hearts.
I don't know what frat it was, but I had never seen them before. And when they started strolling, I was
Mhm.
like, I need them over here in the DFW because they were so good. I
Yes.
don't remember who it was though, but it was one of the
Hold on.
fraternities.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So
But I
I
was
always say
like,
like I love like going to say like when I go to different campuses. Like when you see like other Greeks that like you don't have in your school, I'm like,
mhm.
it's nice. You never get to see them in stroll or like you get to see like what they have to the table. You're like, oh, okay, like hey, that's clean.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. And I will say, Joanne, your UTD sisters, they did really, really good too. They
I
were
love them so much. Chef
they did
kiss.
super good, and their press seems really, really sweet too. Whenever she was talking, like
Mhm.
you could tell that she like loves like being a part of like sorority
Yeah.
Greek life and all of that stuff. But yeah, it was super good. 10 out of 10 for UTD Greeks and OU Greeks and all of the Greeks that are
Yes.
doing their showcases and that we're seeing right now, because it takes a lot of practice like that. I feel like that's something that
Yes.
like that we don't give ourselves props on, because it
Mhm.
takes a lot of mental power to come up with these showcase performances and like execute them how you envisioned it, and bring the dream to life basically.
Yep.
So props to us. Whenever y'all do showcase, is it just one person or is it like a group effort?
So the way that we do it over here at well, at least I can say, an alpha chapter for
Hmm.
showcases. So we have one person who is in charge of it, and so
Mhm.
they're the one that's in charge of it. Again, it's up to them, I guess, if they want how they want to split it up. Like sometimes, if you need ideas or however you want to do it, then you can go out and ask people. But usually, we have like one person in charge of it, and then it's like their how they want to split up everything. That's up to them. But yes,
Gotcha.
how about you guys?
For us, like this is only our second showcase. Um, and so like I've been making it like a group effort because I feel like it's more fun that way. But I've been
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
hearing that people only have one person do it like all themselves, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that to
Yeah.
anybody because it's hard. Like I'll be like sitting here listening to the songs, and I'm like, I can't even think of anything to go to
Yeah.
this. And then like I'm talking to my sisters and they're like, "Oh, what if we do this?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." And then we can also
Mm-hmm.
do these two moves afterwards. So I feel like I don't know, like if I had to do it all by myself, I feel like I'd be like stressed to the max.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's why sometimes like over here, like I know like on there's like specific like songs or specific things I'd be like, hey, like I need help with like the ending or whatever, like hey, like I need
Mhm.
help with this part, then like people would be like, oh, okay, like they would think about it and like, okay, let's do this or okay, let's do that. So it's also it is really helpful when other people help out because it's like,
Mhm.
okay, more brains,
Yes.
more ideas. So I'm like, okay, yes, keep them coming in.
No,
For real.
yeah. No, for us it's exactly the same thing. Like each sister has their own idea, and then we just bring it together to see which one it fits.
Mhm. Mhm. But yeah. So what else have y'all been? Are there any other events that y'all have gone to so far this school year that y'all are like, this was a ton of fun? Like not Greek.
Mm, I don't think so.
Me either.
Oh
I
my
feel like
god,
the
trying
highlight
to
of my
think.
week. I feel like the highlight of my week was UTA showcase.
Yes. Oh,
That was
sorry,
the
that was
only it's okay. I was like, I feel like that's the only thing that like I've done this week so far.
Mhm.
That's worth mentioning.
Like
'Cause
and later tonight you have the takeover, like ooh.
mhm,
Mhm.
I
Better be
know.
seeing you stroll over there, Savannah.
I don't know. Are y'all gonna go tonight?
Well, I can't because I have we have over here a meet and greet. I don't know if you guys do that over
Mhm,
there.
Mhm.
mhm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be there. So by the time I get out of that,
It's
and the
gonna
time
be
that
over.
yeah, but then I have to drive, like the hour or whatever it takes me to get over
Mhm.
there, and then it's gonna be like I'm going to have like an hour maybe towards the end, and then
I
they
know.
do roll calls and everything, so it's gonna be like, you know what? I'll go over to the next takeover you guys have. I'll go still support you guys
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well,
Uh,
I'll be there.
I love that. No, we have recruitment, so can't really
Mm.
go.
Yeah, that's the word. That's what I hate is whenever you have something to do for your chapter on the day that somebody else is hosting something, because it's like,
Yep.
oh, Greek unity, but like,
Like you can't
I
really do
already
that
have
when you
people
had to
that
go to
do.
2 places.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
One of my favorite memories is one time we had chapter, but there was also a hump night at TCU. And so we
Mhm.
rushed through chapter because we only had like 5 topics. So we like sped through it. And then we were like, okay, everybody go get ready. And then we'll all go to TCU. We got there. The event ended at 10. We got there at like 9:50. And they were like, okay, guys, thank you for coming out. Like, like, whatever. And we're like, are you kidding me? Because like
Dang.
we didn't think that like other Greeks rolled on not Greek time. So we
Yeah.
got there thinking like, oh, we're probably still gonna have like another extra hour, because it's outside. No.
Mhm.
They
They're
said
like,
right down.
y'all can leave, bye. And we're like, oh, okay. So we just went and got food over in Fort Worth, but you know.
I think they have actually another home night today at TCU. I
Mhm.
know one of my sisters was telling me she's like, "Hey, like let's go," and I was like, "I wish I could, but I have, I was like, I have I have something to do already." That I love seeing them strong. Like, oof, they
Mhm.
always bring on the heat. So I was like,
Yes.
Yeah, and they're all really nice too. Like, I feel like
mhm,
anytime I go to TCU, it's always a very welcoming vibe, which I
Mhm.
didn't expect because since it's such a, like, fancy, like, rich
Mhm.
type of school, like, I didn't expect them to be nice, and, like, they're all hyping each other up. I was like, "Wow, the vibes here are so good."
like,
Ugh, they're
nice.
so nice.
So
But
how are you guys doing? 'Cause I know you guys technically this is what your second week of school, right?
Mhm.
mhm.
How's school been treating you guys?
Honestly, it's been pretty good. I'm taking 5 classes right now and then a 6th one in October, so I'm trying to, like, piece all the dots together so that way I'm not falling behind. What about you,
Mhm.
Joanne?
Right now, I'm doing pretty good. I like to do my assignments now. I haven't done this compared to last semester.
Mhm,
A week ahead since everything's online. So I'm
mhm,
like, okay, I need to finish. I already finished like a bunch of my assignments I already did for this week. So I was like, I only have 2 more left. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out where I'm going to do that and then
mhm,
start with the next week. So you know ahead of time, like if I need anything, I can back myself up on it.
mhm.
And because usually I forget when it comes to online classes. So I have to do that.
Yeah, that's smart.
Mhm. I feel
Mm,
like that is a smart idea because I feel like, usually like you like I remember one time someone was telling me like how they do their planner is that they
Mhm.
put the due date like 2 days before it's actually due. So that
Yeah.
way, like if it's due on like Sunday, they put on their calendar due on Friday, so they make sure like it's due ahead of time, so it helps them too. So they have like that leeway. So
Mhm.
that's smart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna adapt. I'm gonna try to adapt that idea today. Okay, let me start
It's
writing
kind
it
of hard. I'm
down.
not gonna lie at first, because especially the reason why I started doing it is because of recruitment week. Because I'd be
Mm,
like so busy to the point that I don't have time to do assignments, and I was like, I have to do this ahead of time because where can I put it in my schedule? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't even go to my dorm sometimes, or like my apartment. So I'm like, oh,
Like, where is it gonna all fit in? That's smart though.
exactly.
But I would like I already know myself. I would put it on there like 2 days ahead or a week ahead and I'd be like, nah, nah, but it's not actually due until Sunday, so I'm gonna wait. Because I always do that to myself. Like, ugh, I bet it's okay. Glad that two of y'all are planners. I try my best to be organized, but like it's just hard.
it is. Life
No,
catches
yeah.
up on you, or like something unexpectedly happens, and you're like, "Oop, this happened. You gotta do this," and
Mhm.
God just jumbles in.
Yeah. And I feel like with like recruitment week and everything, like everything all just jumbles in. It's like, oh, I have like
Yes.
50,000 things to do. But what I like this recruitment like season is all of our events are a little bit later. So I
Mhm.
have like a little bit of time before events to try and like get things done as well. So we'll see how that works because, you know,
I
it's
was
recruitment week.
I was telling Joanna earlier that like the thing about recruitment, I was like, make sure you guys check up on your people because like you were saying about eating, I like people, be forgetting like this or that, or like maybe they look fine, but like if you're in charge of this or that, like sometimes like they don't show it, but they can be like overwhelmed or something like that. Because I know,
Mhm.
well, one of our previous guest hosts, we had here, Jackie. What do you call it? She's MGC president, and so like this whole week, it's like it's our MGC week, and so I'm always reminding her like, hey, how you eating? Hey, how you done this? How you done that? And I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna be annoying this whole week for you, but making sure like you're eating because she be forgetting. So I'm like, make sure
Mhm.
it's really important to like gotta check up on your people because you never know,
Mhm.
they're over here doing so much, but then it's like, oh wait, like is he good though? Because you're worried about all of
Mhm.
us. But what about yourself?
Yep. I always send that text at like 12 or 1 o'clock. Hey guys, make sure we ate today. Like, make sure we drink water. Because
Mhm.
our old advisor, she would always get on to us. She'd be like, y'all haven't eaten today? And we'd be like, no, we were just too busy. So she kind of like instilled it into us. I was like, oh, she wouldn't be proud of me if I didn't eat. So now I'm like, oh, I have to go eat something. So just guilt myself into doing it. But yeah, check on your people because like or even if you're just like interested in Greek life, make sure that you're also taking care of yourself as well because if
Yes.
or when you get into Greek life, like it can get overwhelming. Like there's a lot of things that you do within Greek life that are like, social service, academic, like education, like focused. Um, and sometimes like with all of those things you can kind of forget about yourself, so you just have to make sure that before you join Greek life or before you like sign yourself up for it, make sure that you're 100% like at your best that you've been, that way you can be the best for whatever organization that you're planning to join, because if you're not the best you're not going to get the best.
Mhm. And then the best experience as well.
Yeah, because no one wants to be miserable the whole time in Greek life, or you don't want to resent your organization because, like, it took up so much of your time that you weren't able to focus on yourself either, which
Mhm.
it happens and it sucks, but you just have to stay proactive and practice all of these things. Check up on your people. We have a check on a new sister every week to, kind of help with that. So it's
Yeah.
all fun stuff.
That was it. 'Cause it is a commitment, like it's all fun games and all and everything, but also too, it is a commitment. You have to make sure that you do have times to do the X or Y and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
definitely, it is a little commitment, but also too, that's why it's good when like sometimes when you join, is that you have like that support from like whoever's around you, which is also really good.
Mhm. That's true. It's a yeah, like you said, it's a big commitment, but it's fun. It's worth the time commitment, I think,
Yes.
Mm,
because I
That's it.
always saw interest in, like, people at orientation. It's like, I'd rather be spending my Saturday morning, like, with my sisters than spending my Saturday morning just at home doing nothing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
gotta flip your perspective.
Yes, totally agreed.
Mhm. But I don't know. What else do y'all wanna talk about? Are there anything that's been happening in, like, pop culture that y'all are like, wanting to talk about?
Not really. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched Ugly Betty on Netflix
No.
or no.
Mm-mm. I
No.
haven't, but
Oh,
I've, like, keep seeing clips of it, and so I wanna start it because they have a bunch of famous people, like,
yeah.
cameos, so I'm like, but I just finished The Summer That I Turned Pretty, and I've been looking for something else to
Oh.
start, so maybe I'll start Ugly Betty.
No, yeah. They put it back. They took it off on Hulu and they took it off on Netflix and they put it back on Netflix. And I was like, bro, this is like my childhood show. I was like, I have to rewatch it. So I'm rewatching it. Like, I'm already in, I have it on like my TV right now. I'm on season 3, episode 9. So I'm almost done. And I just
Okay.
started it last Friday.
She said she's
Oh.
on a roll to learn to watch it all.
No, it was
That's
like I love it. I love this show. I don't know. It just sometimes I don't like the main character. Like there's a couple seasons I don't like it, but
Mhm.
overall I love it.
Mhm. That's always the worst when you're the main character, like, betrays you or, like, makes you upset. That's how I felt with
Yes.
Summer I Turned Pretty, and I'm just, like, waiting for season 3 to come out, and then I found out that it's, like, an adaptation from a book, so now I'm like, "Ugh,
Hmm.
I want the book now," but then I'm like, don't wanna commit myself to reading those books because I can, but do I want
Yeah.
to?
I heard
'Cause
it's
it's like
really
I've already
good.
I know. Someone one of my sisters was like 'cause I was talking to them about it, I was like, "Have any of y'all seen it?" And one of my sisters was like, "Yeah, and I also read the books, but the books are, like, a million times better than
That's
Hmm.
what I've
the
heard.
show." And I was like, "Ugh, now I have to read the books." Because if I cried at the show, I can only imagine how much, like,
You'll be
more
sobbing.
emotional the book would be. 'Cause it was so good, but that's been, like, that's what I've been watching recently, but I finished it, like, 2 days ago, so now I have nothing. What about you, April? Have you had any time to watch anything
So
or what's
I'm not a show person. Like I just can't watch shows, bro. Like I don't know. Like
and she doesn't even have TikTok either.
I
So
Oh
I'm like,
do
what do you do
yeah.
not.
with your time? Do you watch your Instagram Reels or no?
Sometimes yeah, like I'll do like that's how I know sometimes like TikToks or whatever because like they post it on there. But people always be saying like, oh, like they talk about TikToks and I'm like, do you know it? I'm like, is that TikTok? Because if it is, I do not know, bro. Like no, I guess because I always like to keep my time like active, like doing something or like interacting
Hmm.
with people or something like that. So I'm always like, I don't really have time for a show,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's just also too shows like it can be so good. Like I can watch it with you, it'd be so good. But when I go home, I'm not gonna watch it on my own. Like, nah.
Mhm.
But I always think like maybe once I get done with like college and everything, I think of it like maybe when I grow up, whatever.
You're
After
like,
like
"Okay, let's do
yeah, like
it."
after I get my my big my what is it called like call
Big
like the
girl
big
Your
job.
big girl
yeah big
job.
job whatever. Yeah, maybe I'll come home and like maybe I'll watch one. But I just
Mhm.
like movies because there's a beginning and there's an end. It can be
Mm.
it can be 3 hours long. I don't care. But I want to know the beginning and the end because literally sometimes if I watch a show, like, oh, it's really good, I'll just skip to the end, watch the ending, be like, okay, I gotta learn what I gotta learn and I'm done. But
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know much about
I
shows.
don't know. I feel like I go in my, like, phases of, like, movies or shows, and I feel like
Hmm.
right now I'm in my, like, show era. Cause like, a couple of months ago, I watched Bridgerton, all of it. That's a really
Ooh.
good show.
You need to watch
So
that
good.
one. Chef's
Yes.
kiss on that
It
one.
it's like I don't know, cause it's, like, romance, but it's also, like, drama.
I
It's just, like, all of the good things in one. And it's, like, it's pretty easy to like watch and like follow. So, and
Mhm.
each season is a new storyline. So that's another like good thing too, because you kind of get bored of the same characters. Like it's all the same characters, but like they focus on a different pair
Mhm.
each season. But yeah, no. Ugh, I
I
love
just Oh,
Bridgerton.
sorry. I just feel like it's like a white version of a telenovela,
Yes, 100%,
right?
a hundred
Okay.
percent.
That's why I tell my mom, I was like, "You need to watch this." She's like, "I'm not gonna understand it." And I was like, "Well, I can put the Spanish version, and you're gonna see the reason why you're gonna like it." And she's like, "It's like a telenovela," and she's like, "I'm gonna watch it." And I was like, "Exactly."
I
You're
knew I
like,
was
yep.
telling you, Mom.
Yeah, that's yeah. Ugh, I don't know, but I don't know. What do y'all have planned for this weekend or this like upcoming week?
For me, I'm hanging out with my G Zara, and we're gonna
Mm.
do like a little thing for my big. So if my
Aw.
if my big is seeing this, ignore it. But yeah,
But you didn't know nothing.
yeah, exactly. You didn't hear what I just said. But yeah, she's gonna come over and we're gonna buy a bunch of stuff for my big and like put it all together and then catch up
Mm.
because I haven't seen her since my probate and I miss her so much.
Aw.
And we tried to do it last week on Saturday, but like we were just talking instead of doing it. So we rescheduled to do it this week on Saturday as well. And then like on
Mm.
Sunday, I feel like I go to church half the time or in the morning and then I knock out right after. So how my weekend is.
Mhm. Those after church naps hit.
Yes.
They are some of the best naps ever because it's like, oh, you wake up early in the morning, and then when you get home, like, I don't know about y'all's families, but like after church, my family, we would like either go to someone's house and eat dinner, or like
Mhm.
we would just like go get breakfast somewhere. And then we would come home and just relax for the rest of the day. Oh,
Yep.
I miss it. Whenever I had no responsibilities.
And now it's like, oh, there's this and that to do now.
Yes, and you
For
got
real.
bills, and you be like, "Damn." Your bank account be crying sometimes. I was like, "You know what? It's okay. You get back
For
up."
real, for real. I know that's all you could be. I'd be like looking for coupons and like for things to do. Like last week, well, last weekend, I was supposed to go to this like aquarium thing. It's called Sequest. It's in Fort Worth, and they were giving out free tickets. And so
Mhm.
I got one, and we got there, and the line was like, that was the most packed mall that I've seen since like ever. Like I don't think I've ever seen a mall that packed and everybody was there to go to the aquarium and like there were police officers walking or not there were security guards walking around
Mhm.
and they're like it's a 4-hour wait and the place closes in 3 hours. You guys are not going to get in blah 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 like might as well go home. I was like, "Oh my gosh." So like but the good thing is that the tickets don't expire until no until December, but like
Okay.
there it was like oh, there were so many people there. There were at least 600 people in that mall. And, like, the
Dang.
mall is, like it's a dead mall, like, there's, like, not anything to do in there, so for that
Mhm.
many people to be there, it was
They're getting their
ridiculous.
profit out of that for sure.
For real, but they were free, so I was like, "How are they making money off of this if they're not charging anybody for anything?"
I guess,
I
like,
don't
when
know.
people are going out and they're just like, "You know what?
Mhm.
I don't wanna deal with
But
this. Go
But
buy
they
some
had
stuff."
mermaids there, like, we were so excited, and they had an axolotl and, like, a bunch of other stuff, but then we found this other place in Fort Worth called Game Theory, and
Mhm.
it's basically like, it's just like a restaurant, and they have a bunch of board games, and you go in there, and you can just play, like, board games and, like, eat food, and it's all pretty cheap too, and they have a happy hour. They had $5 drinks. It was very affordable, and it was a lot of fun, and they had, like, games in there that I would do, like that I've just seen on, like, TikTok or that I've just, like, never seen at all. So it's fun. We played this one called, um, Red Flags, and
Oh
so
no.
basically, it's like you get 2 good cards and you get 1 bad card. So, like, one of them was, like, they love you, like, unconditionally, they're very generous, but they're a crackhead. And so it's like you go around the table and you pick and the person, like, picks the best date for them or, like, whose red flag is, like, the
Yeah.
worst. It was a lot of fun. It was like it would be like a fun like girls' night game or like just to play. But yeah,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
y'all
it's
are in
called.
the Fort Worth area, y'all should go to Game Theory. It's a lot of fun and it's cute in there.
You said the game is called Red Flag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go look for it. Be like, or make our own little like
Yeah.
Red Flag game. Be
Red
like,
flag version. No, there was
Yes.
another one. It was like, oh, they were just so funny. One of the ones that I had, it was like they own a vineyard. They're a professional athlete, but they pretend to be a mermaid on the weekends. And so I was like, you know. So it's just like, and you try to like plead your case as to why your date is better than everyone else's date at the table. So you're like, well, mine is the best for you because like, yeah, they're a crackhead, but they're generous and they love you unconditionally. So like, regardless of what you do, like they're gonna love you. Who cares if they do crack? So it was fun. And I can't think. Oh, and then there's another one. It was called Stir the Pot, and it's like a card and you read it to the person next to you and y'all pick whoever the card applies to, and you flip a coin, and one side of the coin says you tell them what the card said, and then the other side of the coin says don't tell them. So if it says don't tell
Oh.
them, then you don't tell them why you like pointed at them, and you just put the card down and they don't know. So
I
Oh,
saw that on
it gets
TikTok.
messy, but it was fun. It was like we were like, it was just like, what are you saying about me type of thing,
Mhm.
but it was silly.
oh, I feel like that one would be, bro. Like I would not. I'd be like, bro, just say it. What is it? Like I don't know. Like I want to know. Like be upfront with me. Like why'd you choose me? Huh? Like is it
Yeah.
good or bad? I don't care. But like let me know what it is.
No, whenever I got picked, and I was like, guys, don't be mean. Just tell me. Secrets are no fun. But yeah. So everybody go to Game Theory. It's a ton of fun. It's in the like west side of Fort Worth
Mhm.
by the hospital. So
So maybe we can go there one day, the three of us.
yes, I
Oh,
was
the
gonna
four of
Yes.
us.
text y'all.
Yeah.
I was gonna text in the group chat after I left. I was like, this would be the perfect place to go with all of us. So we should definitely go there for our September hangout. We should go there.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for some competitive games.
Yes.
I guess competitive of games. I
It
would
Yeah.
depends. It
fancy.
depends on
Yeah.
the game. It depends on the game. Like Just Dance, if I lose, like I'm quitting. Like I don't want to play anymore. If I lose, I Just Dance. Mario, not really competitive, but it just depends what the end goal is, the
Mm.
objective. Are you competitive?
Okay, me or
Yeah,
yes and
Mhm.
Joanne. Oh,
you. Joanna said yeah immediately.
You agree? I'm like, bro, like I'm so bad because like if I lose, I want to do it again until I win.
Yeah. Yes, I'm the same
That's
exact
how I
motivated.
that's how I am in general. I'm like, no, again, we have to do this again.
Literally.
I would say if it's I'd say like a board game, I'm not like that competitive, I would say. But if it's like if I'm like let's say playing I love to play like if it's a video game like Call of Duty. I love playing that.
Oh
I
yeah.
I don't know if I'm competitive with it. Kind of competitive, but I'm very into
Mhm.
it. So I'd be yelling at the screen, whoever I'm with. I'm like, "Oh, I got you, bro." Like I'd be into it. I do be into that one for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, but just in general, I'm kind of more of like, oh, okay, and then I'll just randomly add to like, oh, I got you in there. But at least I
Mhm.
know who to look out for then. Like I'm who not.
Mhm. Yeah, no, when it comes to video games, I don't know what it is about video games. It just brings out that like aggressive side, like
Yes.
because in Mario, I'm like, oh, you stupid! Why would you do that? Like, especially if I'm in first place. And I don't know if y'all have played like, because I don't know if it's like that on like the older version of Mario Kart,
Mhm.
but on the Switch version of Mario Kart, if you're in first place, somebody can get a shell, and it's a blue shell, and
Yes.
it targets the person in first place, and it always makes me so mad whenever they send the blue shell towards me. So
And
I'm like,
usually it's the last
"Bruh."
person who sends it too.
Yeah, it's so. It makes me so mad. Or like in Mario Party, that's another one that I get competitive about. The little like mini games. Those are
Mhm.
fun. But yeah.
Okay, whenever you guys play video games, are you like the, let's say, because are you the ones that like, like, do you like move with the controls at all? Like when you
I
play
do.
video
I think so, yeah. I think so. It helps you play better.
games?
No, it just
Exactly.
reminds me of like when you had the Wii, you had to do that.
Yes.
So I still had that habit of still doing it, and
Of
even though like
steering
you
it.
can just do it by the sides, I still have a habit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to be in character with it, Gotta go with the
Exactly.
flow.
For real. Whenever y'all play games, what player do y'all have to be? I have to be player 1. If I'm not player 1, I'm like, "No, I'm not playing."
I don't think so. I think for me, it's just a character. I just like being
Mhm.
Yoshi.
Really?
Mm.
I'm very unpicky, so I'm like,
You're like,
whatever
"I
goes,
should
whatever goes.
play."
Yeah, as long as I'm playing, I'm in there in the bunch, whatever, having fun. I'm like,
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's because whenever I would play with my siblings, because I'm the oldest, so like I would be like, I have to be player 1 because I'm the oldest, and y'all don't know how to work the Wii. So and then like now I just like always have to be player 1 because I'm so used to being player 1 that if I'm
Yeah.
any other player, it just doesn't feel right or like look right or anything. Except Mario Kart. That's the only one that I'm like, okay, I can be player 2. But other games I'm like, no, I have to be player 1. It doesn't feel good.
He's like, that's my good luck charm right there.
For real.
So now we know. Taking little notes down. So
Mhm.
whenever we play together.
Mhm. But okay, I think that's it. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
No, not yet.
No.
Stay tuned. We'll have more podcasts coming up. Nah.
Yes. So that concludes our podcast. Thank you so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed it, listening to us talk about our competitiveness and our weeks and our busyness. If you'll have any questions, feel free to leave them below. If you want to see what we're up to, feel free to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagrams will be linked down below. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.